Hey guys, it's Julian, and today, excuse me as my voice is a bit shot, I'm still a bit sick, but today I'm going to be talking to you about how to make deep minimal house bass lines, sort of in the style of like Fuse London, PFE Records, that type of stuff. Now, to go along in this video, I've just dropped a new sample pack called Deep Minimal House Basslines Volume 2. A little bit ago, I put out a sample pack called Deep Minimal House Basslines Volume 1, and you guys responded really well to that, so we're back with Volume 2. This one's got 10 bass lines in it. You can see them all here. They're all available in WAV and MIDI formats, so you can work with them as audio, or you can work with them with your own patches. I've also got 4 demo tracks, so I'll play these for you. Here are the demo tracks for the pack. Yeah, and so with the pack, you get the bass lines as well as the project file and samples and MIDI and all the presets and everything like that from those demo tracks. So you can go and work with those on your own. And yeah, link for that is in the description. It's just $10. If you want to support me, it's a great way to do it. And yeah, let's dive in. So I'm going to start off with talking about how to make the sound from these type of bass lines. Usually with these style of bass lines, you want something very deep and fat and warm. You know, you don't want it to be like super bright or sharp, just something deep and warm. So I'm going to get analog, and we're going to bring in a saw wave, and then I'm going to make the second oscillator a square wave. What we're going to do is we're going to put the square wave an octave up, and then we'll turn up the pulse width. So the idea here is we're going to get the low, fat saw wave, and then sort of like some more mid-rangey stuff from the square wave, or the pulse wave, I guess you would call it, as it is now with the pulse width turned up. And through this, we're going to get a much fatter sound, than if we just did a saw wave. You know, with the square wave on top, that mid-range is going to fill the sound out quite a bit. So here's just the saw wave. And then here's with the square wave. So you can hear how much fatter that is. And then we bring down the square wave. And you can get it to a level where, like, you can hear how it really just fattens that sound up. From there, you know, you have to dial it back a little bit so it's not all that sharp, like high end and mid range. So we'll take this and just turn down the frequency of the filter to about there. And I'll kind of shape this a little bit. You usually want an envelope on the filter with these types of basses to make it a bit more like quick and punchy. We'll also set the amp envelope. Cool, and then I'm also going to bring up the resonance on the filter, which can help with like the fullness and the fatness in the sound. Alright, there we go. We have a very punchy and quick and sort of tight sound like this now. This is what we want. Cool, so then usually on top of that, I'll just put some kind of like a saturation or something. Like we get a saturator and just turn that drive up a bit like that. There we go. Maybe we'll turn down the square wave a little bit more. And there we go. There's the sound. Like I said, you know, it's very simple. It's not meant to be doing too much. It's just a simple, sort of tight, fat saw wave bass with a pluck like this. Now, from there, from the notes, what I'll typically do is just make a little 4-bar pattern. And the key with the notes in this pattern, let's go to 127 BPM. That's a pretty popular BPM. The key here with the notes, I'll bring in some drums from one of these demo tracks as well. All right, there we go. So now we have some drums in here. Like I said, the key with the notes here is just to kind of like play off of what your drums are doing and keep it, you know, very tight and rhythmic. It's not meant to be doing too much with notes and trying to like tell a whole melody with the bass line. Just try and keep it simple and tight. So let's do something like this. pretty good. Maybe we'll do the fifth there. Oh yeah, there we go. That's a pretty good pattern. So you can see like it was just kind of starting with this tight root note of F, you know, just something very solid and kind of like having that. You know, the first two notes that you hear are F, and they're both on the upbeat. So it gives you something very solid. And then we're just going into some syncopation over here with this, like, A sharp, you know, being on the 16th notes. And then it goes back down to F right on that upbeat. And then we're doing the minor third with the G sharp of this F minor scale. And then over here is the same thing, but then it just goes up to the fifth. So, yeah, you can see, like, it's really not that complicated. Again, you just need to define what key you're in, and then just use notes within that key with a lot of syncopation. And that's really how you get it. And this is a technique I really think I haven't covered in these videos a lot before. Again, sorry for all the voice cracking today, guys. I'm going to watch this video when I'm better and cringe so hard. But like I was saying, this is a technique that, you know, I think I really haven't talked about a lot in these videos, and it's honestly one of the most simple ones. It's like I said, it's like just kind of stick to a simple minor scale. Maybe sometimes it can be major, especially like if you're doing a remix or something of a track that's already in a major key. But stick to that key, and then just try to do syncopation with notes within that key. It's not that hard. Like, yeah, as long as you just like establish what key it's in by having most of the notes be your root note, and then you know, keep it simple and catchy like this. You really can't go wrong. And you hear how this is playing off in the track as well, like these percussions. You know, it's not like I just wrote this and then attempted to bring in, this percussion over top of it. Everything is all fitting together. So that's how you make the sound and how you write the notes. The last thing that I think is really important with these kinds of bass lines is the way that you mix them in your tracks. So typically what I will do is I will group them together with my kick. Like I'll take that and just put it in a group, and then we can process these. Like we'll put a little bit of saturation on there and some EQ, and I'm just gonna work with it and show you. Switch that out for a drum bus, actually. And then you can hear what that really does. Like, when you take your kick and put it in the group with the bass like that and then process them together, you're kind of like gluing them together. Best voice crack in the whole video, right? But, you can hear, like, it's really gluing them together, and it's making your low end a lot more cohesive. It's like, a lot of times people think of it as, like, the kick and the bass as two separate things, but really you need to kind of think of it more in terms of, like, the low end as a whole. And so that's the idea with grouping these and processing them kind of as one. And I think that's the last thing that you really need to make your bass line in the style of track work. Like when I hear the professional tracks and then I hear tracks that people send in that just aren't quite there yet, a lot of times it's because they need to do this grouping to really give it that like extra push, you know? It's just that extra little like 10 or 20% to really get your bass line sounding fat. So yeah. That is it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. Let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get the Deep Minimal House Bassline sample pack in the description for just $10. You get 10 awesome bass lines in wave and MIDI format, and these are key and BPM labeled. And then you also get the project files from all 4 of these cool demo tracks so you can work with them on your own, maybe get some inspiration or kind of like tear them apart, see how the bass lines are fitting into the groove, or even maybe, you just want to have some cool new samples to work with. You can take in the hi-hats from some of these tracks, the kicks, all that kind of stuff, and really get like some stuff to play around with when you're writing your own bass lines. So yeah, that is all in the description. Like I said, yeah, that is going to be it for this one. Thank you very much, guys, and I will see you tomorrow with another video.